Marilee's cat was a silver-blue Abyssinian named Ghost. Awful name. Sweet cat. I had taken care of him several times before, and the only thing different about this time was that Marilee had called the night before to tell me she'd had her locks changed, so I would have to pick up a new key before she left town. She lived on the bay side of Midnight Pass Road, about midway between Turtle Beach and the South Bridge. Her street was curvy, lushly tree-lined, and short. The house a low-slung stucco with a red barrel-tile roof and deep recessed arches over doors and windows. The kind of Mexican-Mediterranean hybrid that Floridians love. Dwarf scheffleras and pittosporum and hollies made swirling patterns of ground cover in the front yard, interspersed with clumps of red geraniums and bird-of-paradise plants. The front door undoubtedly had once hung on a cathedral in some South American country, and the doorbell was a deep bonging thing that sounded like it might have come from the same cathedral. As I waited, I could hear the faint sound of classical piano music from next door. Marilee opened the door a cautious slit and peered out at me. Later, I would wonder about that, but at the time it didn't seem unusual for a cat owner. A cat can be taking a nap on its $100 kitty pillow or watching a television program especially designed for its feline pleasure, but let somebody open an outside door the narrowest bit and it will go streaking out like it's escaping a torture chamber. Marilee was stunningly beautiful, with glossy black hair tumbling over her shoulders in the kind of casual disarray that takes a lot of work. It framed an oval face with skin like a cosmetic commercial, only hers wasn't airbrushed, it was really that perfect. Her eyes were dark violet blue with thick black lashes, and her mouth had the kind of moist expectancy that automatically makes you think of sex. I could smell expensive perfume, the kind I've only worn by rubbing a strip from a magazine on my wrist. She was wearing a short pink terrycloth robe that cost more than my entire wardrobe, including the winter coat I have salted away in mothballs in case I ever travel north. Her legs were long and slim, tanned enough to look healthy, but not so dark as to look like she'd tarted herself up in a tanning booth. At first, she looked surprised to see me, then in that breathy voice of hers said, "Oh, you've come for the key. I was just about to jump in the shower. Hold on, I'll get it." She closed the door, and I imagined her bare feet sprinting over Mexican tile. Next door, the music stopped, and a moment later, the garage door opened and a white Jeep Cherokee backed out and headed toward Midnight Pass Road. As it made the turn, I could see the driver was a young man, no more than a teenager, which surprised me. Somehow I never think of teenagers listening to classical music, which shows what a lowbrow I am. Marilee opened the door again, wider this time, and stretched her arm out with a loop of red silk ribbon dangling from a finger. A shiny new door key hung on the ribbon like a gold pendant on a necklace. Feeling a bit like the upstairs maid, I held out my hand and let her drop it into my palm. I said, "Don't forget to leave me a number where I can reach you, and the date and time you'll return." I should have whipped out my notebook and made her give me the number right then, but she knew the routine, and I already had all the pertinent information in my files. Her vet's name and number, the dates of Ghost's immunization shots, his medical history, his favorite foods and toys and where they were located, and his favorite hiding place in case he decided to play Where's Ghost. I told her to have a safe journey and not to worry about Ghost, and went on my merry way. I never saw Marilee again, at least, not alive. My alarm went off at 4 o'clock the next morning, and I got right up. One thing you can say for me, I wake up well. I sleep in underpants, so all I had to do was pull on khaki cargo shorts and a tee and lace up my keds. I brushed my teeth, splashed water on my face, pulled my hair into a ponytail, and I was ready. Animals don't expect you to dress up for them. I could go naked for all they care. By 4:15, I was halfway to my first stop. The sky was